Mummies of a small woman the size of a human palm are kept in Asia, an unfairly forgotten evidence of the existence of what we call fairies. Fairies are quite popular characters from Western folklore, mostly English, Scottish, and Irish. Usually they're described as tiny, pretty humanoid creatures with transparent wings, but this is already a late Victorian tradition. In old fairy tales, they were described either as kind of luminous creatures or as something green and more like a troll. But in the East, in Asia, fairies were known long before the development of European civilization. Thus, in Buddhist cosmology, there are three main spheres of the universe, each of which is divided into several worlds. One of them, called the sky of growth, live the little gods of Kumbhanda, whose description corresponds exactly to the European idea of fairies. Their translucent bodies of a pale green color can become invisible to the human eye. They can fly. Kumbhandas reproduce in a vegetative way. They're born in the form of the fruits of the magic tree Nari Pon, are directly responsible for the plant world on Earth and to protect it. In a number of countries in Southeast Asia, millions of people not only believe, but also claim that they have seen these creatures. There are a lot of photos online with creatures reminiscent of those of fairies. However, most of them are flying praying mantises, which, due to their bizarre body shape, really look like a small human with wings. Mummies of ancient gods are kept in the oldest temple in Thailand. For many centuries, everyone believed in the Thai legend of the fabulous little woman who lived in the trees, the women who lived in the trees. According to legend, the god Indra created a wonderful forest and hid his beautiful wife there from the encroachments of demons and planted magical Nari Pon trees near the forest. The fruit were tiny beauties that distracted intruders. Beautiful creatures lived only 7 days and then withered and shrank to the size of a human palm. Meanwhile, the trees gave birth to new fairies. Skeptics and mystics have long considered this an ordinary legend until scientists began to study two tiny mummies kept in Thai temples. In Thailand, not far from Sinburi, north of Bangkok, there is a temple called Wat Phar Phangmuni. One of the Buddhist shrines is kept in this temple. The mummified bodies of two humanoid creatures, unknown to science, placed in a glass, richly decorated shrine. They are mummies of small women the size of a human palm, which are credited with a divine meaning. Believers claim that these are the bodies of the Kumbhanda Buddhist fairies. The size of each mummy does not exceed the length of 2 phalanges of the finger of an adult, and on their heads they have something resembling a headdress. The rector of the temple kindly provided one of these mummies for a while to scientists for research. It turned out that the body of the mummy has a normal human structure and proportions, with the exception of elongated limbs and an enlarged head relative to the body. The creature's hand and feet have fingers. The head has a mouth, nose, eyes, and ears. Examination of the outer integument of the mummy under a microscope led experts to the conclusion that its tissues are of a plant origin. Moreover, the strange headdress turned out to be a dried stalk of verification. However, people have long known ways to modify plants and fruits. Watermelons or cube-shaped tomatoes have not surprised anyone for a long time. Any fruit can be grown in a tightening mold, and it will retain its contours. In general, the question of the origin of mummies could be closed on this. However, some scientists decided to go to the end, and not in vain. X-ray scans led to stunning results. A fully formed skeleton structure was found inside the bodies, an exact replica of the human body. Teeth, tongue, and some internal organs were also found. In the course of research, a hypothesis arose about a rare genetic deformity of a premature human fetus, but was immediately rejected. The formed skeleton left no doubt that this is an adult, and the presence of plant tissue in the body of a vertebrate does not fit into the scientific conception of modern biology. In addition, two absolutely identical mummies exclude the version of a random genetic mutation. All these facts have baffled scientists. One thing is clear: these mummies are clearly not the result of a work of a skilled forger, but biological creatures unknown to science. Myanmar fairy mummies. In 2016, the capital of Mexico became interested in these fantastic exhibits. Negotiations were organized regarding the study of the relic using X-rays. The authorities of Bhutan and Nepal rejected the proposal, but scientists from Myanmar turned out to be interested in them. Having cooperated, representatives from the science delivered the necessary equipment to the temple. The experiment was carried out in 2017. The photo went around the world almost instantly. Academic scientists from Myanmar and Mexico told the public they were convinced of the existence of fairies. The mummy, which did not exceed 12 centimeters in length, turned out to have a fully formed skeleton. If it were a premature human cub, a human fetus, then some of the bones could not have been seen, since they were cartilage at the time of the creature's death. This mummy had a well-formed skeleton. The approximate age of the creature is 10 to 15 years. In India, it's believed that fairies lived for about 20 years. In the 12th century AD, one of the Indian nobles had 4 fairies in a cage, but they quickly died in captivity. Since then, the country has banned the capture and sale of fairies. Famous worldwide known ufologists and cryptozoologists asked the Myanmar authorities to issue a mummy for DNA analysis, but they were refused. The only thing that could be done was an X-ray. No one else was allowed to examine the relic. The question of the real existence of such fairy tale characters remains open, since science is not able to reliably confirm or refute it, but folk tales that arose from ancient legends can carry information about those phenomena that our distant ancestors had the opportunity to see with their own eyes. So, official science claims that dinosaurs died out at the end of the Cretaceous period of the Mesozoic era, that is more than 60 million years ago, and the first people, a reasonable person, appeared no earlier than 30 to 40,000 years ago. However, it is possible that references to dinosaurs have come down to us in the form of myths and legends about dragons. This is on Soul Ask. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box.